Okay, so we've built fact order items and fact orders. We're now going to move on to dimension tables. So I'm going to start with dim products, where we're going to want any descriptive fields for product. So we're going to product ID will be our primary key and our unique identifier, and then we want product name, category, and subcategory. I think that's probably it for product. So it should be super easy, super straightforward. We should simply be able to select from our staging table, product ID, category, subcategory, and product name, and group them together. Remember that table's at order item level, so we want to group it to product level of aggregation. Now that should work because a product ID should only have one category, should only have one subcategory, and should only have one product name. But nothing's ever that easy. You'll notice, by the way, that it should just be like a couple of minutes to build this table, but because there's a data quality issue, it's going to take probably hours actually to deal with all this. So let's right. So primary key violation. So we know from that, we know from experience, from our last experience with primary key violations, that let's just get rid of this for a second. That somewhere along the line here, we have a product ID with either more than one category, more than one subcategory, or more than one product name. So we're going to have to spend hours resolving that problem. It's just the reality of the job. The more you can bring in data governance to try and prevent this kind of thing, once you've identified it, make sure it doesn't happen again, make sure the root cause is fixed. Things can get better over time, but it can be a little bit soul destroying. Okay, so I'm just going to pause and then we're going to start troubleshooting on this. Okay, so we have a problem here. I've just done a quick bit of logic here to find duplicates. So exactly the same query as before, product ID, category, subcategory, and product name grouped by those things. But just with a case statement to flag anything that's a duplicate. So when lead product one, so when the next row is identical to the current row, or the previous row is identical to the current row, we're flagging that with a 1. And then I'm wrapping that in a CTE, so then I can select from the result of that query where that isDupe field is 1, so we can find the duplicates. So I'm going to run that. For anyone who's interested, there's a new SQL function that's not available in PostgreSQL yet, but Qualify, where instead of using CTEs for window functions like this, you can just use Qualify. So instead of having the CTE selecting from that CTE where the result of your window function is 1, you can just have Qualify isDupe equals 1. So it's like having, you got your where clause for simple things, you've got your having clause for aggregate fields, and then you'll have a qualify for window functions. Yeah, anyway, qualify, looking forward to playing with it. But for now, we have a problem. Let's look at what we've got here. So we've got, that could be the same thing renamed. I don't know. We don't know. That potentially, although we've got something black and something grey. But here, this is, there's just no way. The same product ID, and we've got a chair mat and a 13-inch wall clock. There is no way that that's the same product that's just been renamed. So we have a real problem here. We have a data quality issue. I don't want this. I don't want any of these product IDs in my data warehouse at this point. What I would do is find whoever's the most competent user of the sales system, find out why this has happened, how this has happened, how we can prevent it from happening, how we can fix it. I would rather fix it there and change. I assume that the product ID is correct, and there's just been something's happened with the product name, where the wrong product name has been associated with. Yeah, that one needs to be sorted out. So in terms of the solution, I'm just going to create a table with all of these product IDs and exclude them from our data warehouse for now, and probably put this in. Actually, I'll probably put this into a table that we would then take to the business and say, hey, this isn't right. You need to fix this, or we need to fix this together. The fun of cleaning messy data. Okay, just to explain what I've done, the query I built earlier, I've just popped the result of that into a table here, so that there's a table called in staging called problem products, and that has all of the products with where the same product ID has two different product descriptions, including the one that's both a chair mat and a wall clock. So those the business can figure out. I've also created the DIM products table using exactly the same query actually, but with isDupe equals 0, so it's not a duplicate, and with a primary key constraint. If I just select all from that, you can see that's populated. So let's just look at that. And so we have all of the products that are going into our data warehouse that aren't problematic, basically. So I'll paste both lots of SQL underneath. The first to create the problem products, and then this to create the actual DIM products table. Sorry about that, a little bit hectic. I was solving problems on the fly and probably should have prepared better.